So, big three automakers, it's so ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous the hype and the fear that they're trying to put into everybody to try to get us to go along with this deal. And read this from Associated Press, but I'll find it on Yahoo. The auto industry's problems will cost taxpayers plenty, whether or not the government helps Detroit. Just walking away, letting the struggling big three automakers go under would drain government coffers by about as much as a $15 billion bridge loan that lawmakers are preparing, and perhaps much more, according to outside analysts. Now let's forget for a second that loans are people that want to make money. You have bankers or other institutions, private lenders that want to make money. And so when they see an opportunity to lend their money out to somebody that can do something with it and give them a return on their money, they don't just throw their money around at anybody. But if there's a profitable expectation there, people are pretty willing to lend out money because there's a good return on investment when you lend money out. Now, what does it say that people that are greedy, we know they're greedy, we know all these corporate executives, these finance companies and everything are greedy, 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 and there's money to be made on loans out there for profitable companies, but yet these greedy guys don't want to lend the automakers any money. Now these guys live and die making loans to people that pay them back and give them a better rate of return than what they gave to the people that borrowed the money. And yet they're unwilling to give these guys loans? Shouldn't that tell us something about the state that these guys are in? What in the world makes us think that some people that know how to make a return loaning out money don't think these guys are going to have the ability to pay it back? But for some reason, our government thinks they're going to pay it back. So they're calling it a loan. But I guarantee you the default risk on this loan is way out of control. It's so unacceptable that these greedy guys that we see up here on Wall Street and in these finance companies and in these loan brokerages and all this stuff won't give them any money, okay? But let's get on past that. And this cost would come from lower tax collections by the federal, state, and local governments and the payment. So now we're taking, there's so many problems with this, and you can't even get to all of it. The federal, state, and local government. So it's just the federal government that's giving out this $15 billion or $20 billion or $34 billion, whatever it's going to be. But we're expected to take into account the cost of not giving the bailout under federal, state, and local governments combined. Well, then why don't state and local governments pitch in on the bailout? Such hypocrisy. But it'll result in these payouts from the federal, state, and local governments of extra unemployment, pension, and other benefits to unemployed or retired auto workers. Now, why in the world is the American government giving out payments of unemployment, pensions, and other benefits to unemployed or, get this, retired auto workers? Why are we paying guys that have worked 30 years and now they're retired? Why are we paying them? Why is the American government paying them? So all these problems, and this is the second paragraph, y'all. And the writing in this article is so horrible, the first paragraph was only one sentence. We're at the third sentence of this article, and it goes down, down, down. So ridiculous. There's a sharp disagreement among outside experts, who are experts, government lackeys, but okay, among outside experts about what exactly an honest auto industry failure would look like and how much it would cost taxpayers. But what's clear is that while no one knows how much government aid the big three will ultimately need, inaction would also be expensive, assuming automobile production drops and more workers lose their jobs. Okay. There's a major problem in that but we have to go on. The Center for Automotive Research, which to me sounds like somebody that researches cars, but evidently these guys research companies. The Center for Automotive Research, doesn't that sound like, hey, how fast can we make a Ford go? How fast will Ford go 0 to 60? How fast will a Chrysler, how long will the tires on a Chrysler last? How long before you have to change the timing belt on a Chevy? That sounds like automotive research to me, but evidently these guys are a nonprofit organization in Ann Arbor, Michigan that want to evaluate car companies. They estimate that if Ford Motor Company, General Motors Corp., and Chrysler LLC completely stop making cars next year, but return to 50% production levels in 2010 and 2011, it would still wipe out nearly 2.5 million jobs a year. First of all, if these guys go bankrupt, nobody's going to quit making cars. These guys are not going to stop making cars if they go bankrupt. Oh, the center, which gets a small portion of its budget from the auto companies, says that 239,000 of those jobs would come from the big three, 795,000 of them from suppliers, blah, blah, blah. Overall, the lost employment would cost government at all levels. That means we're throwing in state and local and municipalities and all that on the cost, but we're only bailing out with the federal government money. Almost a quarter of the money would be for unemployment, welfare, health care, and other costs government would have to carry. Why is government carrying this? Hey, got an easy solution. Oh, you little corporate, this is exactly a automotive. This is the automotive industry shield right here. This is the guy's a lackey for the automobile industry. I've got a solution for you, Mr. Automobile Yes Man. Eliminate government unemployment. Eliminate government welfare. Eliminate government health care and other costs. The other would come from lost collection of income taxes and payroll taxes that support Social Security. So is it just the automotive worker jobs that get protected? Because I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of jobs that go away each year, and surely that takes out of the Social Security system. Another memo here: get rid of Social Security. You won't have to worry about that. You can lose jobs and not bail them out. So we're losing money to Social Security, but we have the money. We have the money, the 15 billion to throw around. We can't afford to not do anything because it's going to mean less money in Social Security. But the $15 billion we're going to throw at them, somehow that's not going to wind up with less money in Social Security. So that argument is so backwards. And the overriding argument to all of that is, hey, get rid of Social Security. You won't have to worry about how much job losses mean, shortages in the Social Security trust fund. Oh, in a more severe scenario in which the Big Three halted all U.S. operations completely, the 3-year cost to taxpayers would be $156 billion in lost tax revenue and higher spending. Without question. Now, this is the only. It's just like what it would cost the government to give the big. Without question, it would cost the government less to give the big three a loan than to watch them curtail production. That's better than taking this huge tax and transfer payment hit. We assume, the transfer payment. That's the welfare state. We assume the welfare state, and then we work business around it. Let's see if the Heritage Foundation has any. And of course, the media, they're going to throw the Heritage Foundation on a little bitty bone. It's more likely that they would declare bankruptcy but continue reduced operations as they try to reemerge as leaner but stronger companies. During this lull, foreign automakers in the U.S. would see their sales increase and would hire additional workers, cushioning much of the blow to government budget. There you go. That's the point. I just did a little research just by Google. My goodness, Google in 5 minutes. I can come up with this stuff, and you guys are just gonna have to bear with me, and you may have to come over and get a second video. Yes, you do. You have to come get a second video. My time's running out. Second video on the big three automakers bailout nonsense.